This is Part 2, Episode 58. Everyone on the ship was overwhelmed. That Coxen was a divine arts practitioner with extraordinary abilities, but as he had to control the direction of the ship, he couldn't care for everyone. Three Wonders Castle had three wonders, the first being bugs, the second being medicine, and the third was beautiful women. Consort Che in the royal palace was an outstanding beauty from Three Wonders Castle. Three Wonders Castle was proficient in their medical expertise, having many famous physicians that were good at using venomous insects to treat illness. Meanwhile, the first wonder among the three was insect. The insect army of Three Wonders Castle was extremely terrifying. The people that were good at healing were also good at poisoning. The venomous insects of Three Wonders Castle were also a unique skill. After they were annexed by the imperial court, the emperor had ordered Three Wonders Castle to form an insect army, and most of the soldiers in the army were experts in controlling insects. Now that Three Wonders Castle had rebelled, it was evident that the insect army had already rebelled, and this battle was between the imperial army and the insect army of Three Wonders Castle. They had wandered carelessly into the battlefield and came under attack from Three Wonders Castle's insect army. Things were not going to end peacefully. It's impossible to guard against this kind of insects. Junior Protector Sword can't deal with so many insects. Qin Mu's scalp turned numb as countless of golden insects flew towards him. He immediately split his focus into two and brandished his Junior Protector Sword at one soldier while bursting forth his vital chi in his body. Countless of fine vital chi threads surged out from his hand to form something like a blazing red sun. His vital chi threads were formed from incomparably fine vital chi swords which transformed into a setting sun in this instant, floating in the air with a buzz. UN Imperial Studies, Sunset Sword Skill. That fireball spun rapidly and countless of sword lights instantly burst forth from this setting sun. Each and every sword stabbed the bodies of the small golden insects, and in an instant, insects' corpses filled the ground around Qin Mu. At the same time, his junior protector penetrated through the chest of a soldier in a flash before returned with a stab to finish off the soldier. Superb sword skill. That Coxen praised and let his assistant control the ship. He immediately made a move and took out a fire bottle gourd. After he opened the bottle gourd, a piece of fire cloud flew out from the bottle gourd and transformed into a 9-head fire phoenix which opened its 9 mouths to spew out raging inferno that scorched countless of bugs to death. That 9-head fire phoenix spread its wings and shrouded the ship while spewing out trails of flames. Before the soldiers of Three Wonders Castle could even get close, they were burned into charcoal. This Coxen has a very deep cultivation which is not inferior to little General Qin Feiyue. Qin Mu's heart moved slightly. The Coxen was a middle-aged man with a burly body. However, this flame divine art that he had unleashed was indeed extraordinary. He was probably a divine arts practitioner of 7 stars realm. Right at this moment, the terrifying golden insect swarmed over like waves. A woman wearing a military uniform stood among them. With a point of her finger, the swarm of insects surged forth towards the ship. The second wonder of Three Wonders Castle, the girls sure are pretty. That Coxen gave a chuckle and the 9-head fire phoenix came back into the fire bottle gourd with a whoosh. The bottle gourd grew larger and larger, turning into a huge object that was about 3 to 5 humans tall. With the mouth of the bottle gourd facing downwards, a terrifying suction came from it and sucked in the swarm of insects which were surging over. That Coxen held madras with both of his hands and slapped dozens of madras one after another on the fire bottle gourd. All kinds of elegant runes instantly appeared in the air around the huge fire bottle gourd one after another before vanishing gradually. The swarm of insects was instantly turned into ashes in the bottle gourd. Qin Mu's eyes lighted up. Cultivation was to study, and this Coxen seemed to have quite an in-depth knowledge regarding runes and mudra. That female general of Three Wonders Castle was shocked, and the swarm of insects under her feet instantly stopped. Standing in the air, she blinked her beautiful eyes and said, "You are Fire Bandit Fenyun Xiao? When have you turned good and become a Coxen?" The expression on most of the merchants on ship changed, and even those few officials changed their expression hugely. They all manipulated swords using chi to point them at the Coxen. That Coxen spat twice. "What do you mean, turned good?" The female general of Three Wonders Castle sneered. I've heard you were a relinquished disciple of Dao Sect. Dao Sect disliked you having improper intentions and chased you out from Dao Sect, thus you became a bandit to plunder merchants everywhere. You have been wanted by the imperial court for quite a while. Now that you have become a Coxen, haven't you turned good? That Coxen Fenyun Xiao laughed. I only work as a bandit during times of peace to rob people of their valuables. How can I be a bandit in these times of unrest? During times of unrest, more money comes from being a Coxen than robbing people. General, please make life easy for me. The female general snorted coldly and looked around. The insect army of Three Wonders Castle was still fighting, and it wasn't good for her to engage in a fight with this bandit now. Even though Fenyun Xiao was a relinquished disciple of Dao Sect, he had extremely high abilities. Even the imperial court could not catch him in so many years, so she might not be his opponent. Her insect cloud swept backward at once and she floated away. Fenyun Xiao let out a sigh of relief and ordered his assistant to drive the ship away. The merchants on the ship looked at this burly man with eyes filled with terror. Fenyun Xiao immediately said, "Relax everyone, I've turned good and won't rob during times of unrest. The officials can also be at ease, I've turned good, this ship is even recorded in the capital city." An official sneered, "Could this ship of Coxen Fam be the infamous cloud-chasing pirate ship among the bandits? Please excuse my humble ship." Cloud-chasing pirate ship has also changed its name to cloud-chasing passenger ship. When the world is peaceful again, we'll then go back to rob. Fenyun Xiao went to the merchant who had been eaten until only his skin was left and frowned. "You have boarded my ship and I should have protected you with everything I could, yet you still met with trouble. I can't take your ship fare." After he said this, he took out a coin pouch and handed it to the merchant's associate. Everyone on the ship was trembling with fear and felt that they had just escaped from a pack of wolves only to enter the tiger's den. This Fenyun Xiao had created trouble for merchant ships for many years, plundering people everywhere. Now that they were on his ship, everything pointed to disaster. "I've turned good." Fenyun Xiao bowed with his hands held in front. "I've really turned good. Don't worry, I'll definitely send you guys to the capital city." Everyone still had a face of terror. Fenyun Xiao was helpless and looked at Qin Mu while smiling. "Little brother, sword skill ain't half bad, you're from Yuyuan family." Qin Mu shook his head and replied, "Imperial College's Qin Mu. Senior brother Fan has great knowledge which I admire." Fenyun Xiao's eyes lighted up and smiled. "This is the first time someone praised my knowledge. Your judgment ain't bad. What's funny is that everyone is so caught up in cultivating and don't study. What they don't know is, cultivation is studying. Dao Sect's ultimate arts were all derived from studying. Without knowledge, you can't even learn shit." Qin Mu had the same sentiments. If one wanted to learn the teleportation divine art, an extremely high knowledge was also needed. Dao Sword of Dao Sect also required knowledge, and just now Fenyun Xiao's mudra also contained transformation of runes which couldn't be achieved without profound knowledge. If you didn't go Imperial College and went Dao Sect instead, Dao Master, that old man would definitely like you very much. Fenyun Xiao recalled the past and said dimly, "I don't even know which eye of that old man saw me having improper intentions. I was clearly very well behaved in Dao Sect." Qin Mu gave a cough and asked, "Did senior brother Fan become a bandit after you got chased out?" Fenyun Xiao clapped heavily and exclaimed, "The old man is still the wiser one. He had seen that I would become a bandit in the future, therefore, he had chased me out to let me become a bandit. However, I was still very well behaved in Dao Sect. How did he see it?" Qin Mu was speechless. He suddenly remembered something and asked, "Senior brother Fan, how's your algebra?" Fenyun Xiao became disappointed and said, "I was originally very good at it, but after being a bandit for all these years, I have returned them all to Dao Master. The computational canon of Mysterious Woman and computational canon of Supreme Mystery in Dao Sect are all very profound and not easy to learn. If one could learn all of them, they could learn 14 writings of Dao Sect. I had originally cultivated it." Suddenly a head popped out under the hold of the ship and shouted, "Robber Baron, our furnace seems to be faulty. Just now, the woman from Three Wonders Castle stuffed a few insects into our pill furnace when we were unprepared and they gnawed the pill furnace. How many times have I told you, stop calling me Robber Baron, I've turned good." Fenyun Xiao scratched his head and looked around. Everyone who knows how to forge tools and repair the pill furnace. At this moment, a dull boom sounded from the hold of the ship. A few apothecaries climbed out from the hold of the ship and said with black faces, "The pill furnace has exploded." Fenyun Xiao's expression changed hugely and cursed, "Damned woman, sneaking such a ruthless attack. Let's abandon the ship." Everyone jumped down together. Qin Mu came forward and said, "I know how to forge tools and also learned the path of medicine. Let me have a look first." Fenyun Xiao was skeptical and followed him to the hold of the ship. The hold of the ship was already in flames and a few fierce-looking bandits were extinguishing the fire, minimizing the intensity of the fire. However, without the pill furnace providing medicinal energy to the ship, the speed had already started to slow down and the ship could fall off from the sky anytime. Qin Mu went forward and looked at the shattered pill furnace. This kind of furnace was the standardized pill furnace and was different from ordinary pill furnace. There was a shipyard in Eternal Peace Empire where countless of ironworkers worked day and night to forge pill furnaces which could be used on the ship, providing motive power to the ship. This kind of pill furnace burned spirit stones and dozens of herbs, transforming the medicinal energy contained in the spirit stones and herbs into surging energy which was transported to the bronze beasts located at the aft of the ship. The energy was then turned into raging flames which spewed out from the mouth of the bronze beasts, allowing the ship to rise. The structure of the pill furnace was extremely complicated and was a unique treasure that the skilled blacksmith of Imperial College had created. Other than refining pills, there was also a complicated digestive system in the furnace which was similar to a human body, turning the medicinal energy into energy. When these pill furnaces were spoilt normally, they could only find the blacksmith of the shipyard in Eternal Peace Empire to repair them or to change new ones. "Can it be repaired?" Fenyun Xiao asked anxiously. Qin Mu checked the structure of the pill furnace and had a rough understanding of it. "I had learned to smith in the past for a few years. I can forge a new one in an incense stick of time." "How long can this ship last?" "If we use our magic power to sustain it, we can still last for an incense stick of time." Qin Mu immediately started to reforge the pill furnace. With vermilion bird vital chi in one hand and with black tortoise vital chi in the other, he swept up countless fragments of the pill furnace and smelted them into molten iron. Using black tortoise vital chi in the other hand, he quickly cooled the iron down and constructed the components of the pill furnace rapidly. Everyone was dazzled by the sight and the ship suddenly jerked and began to descend. Fenyun Xiao couldn't care about looking at how Qin Mu forged the pill furnace and hurriedly rushed out of the hold to activate his fire bottle gourd, transforming it into a nine-headed phoenix to lift up the ship. Even though he was a strong practitioner of Seven Stars realm and had dense magic power, it was still extremely tough for him to carry the ship to fly. As the time ticked by, Fenyun Xiao's face grew red as the pressure on him increased. It was harder and harder for him to persevere and everyone on the ship was extremely terrified. If Fenyun Xiao couldn't persevere on, this ship would probably fall from a height of 10,000 feet, breaking them into pieces. Fenyun Xiao had already reached his limit and couldn't persevere any longer. Suddenly, the two bronze beasts at the aft of the ship spewed fire from their mouths and the flames grew exponentially. The ship trembled violently and its speed increased as it flew forward. Fenyun Xiao let out a sigh of relief and took his nine-headed phoenix back. However, he saw the speed of the ship becoming faster and faster as everything went by in a blur. The speed of the ship was 3 to 5 times faster than before. He was bewildered and when he saw Qin Mu walking out from the hold of the ship, he asked immediately, "Brother Qin, exactly what furnace have you forged?" Qin Mu said, "I have never seen the blueprints of the pill furnace so I could only forge it according to my understanding. There might be some differences from the structure of the original pill furnace. I have only learned to smith for a few years." Before Fenyun Xiao could even speak, another loud boom suddenly sounded out as the ship broke through the air at a speed that was even faster than sound. "Brother Qin Mu, whom did you learn the technique of smithing from?" Fenyun Xiao was surprised and delighted. "From now on, who will be able to catch me when I go robbing?" Qin Mu now realized why Dao Master of Dao Sect said he had improper intentions. The little fox in Qin Mu's backpack couldn't resist popping her head out to say, "This senior brother Fan, didn't you ever think that you would run a few more trips ferrying passengers to earn more money since your ship is 3 to 5 times faster now? There is no need for you to rob. Fenyun Xiao rolled his eyes at Hu Linga. Why so troublesome? Now that my ship is fast enough, I would be able to rob fast enough. I could only rob once a day before, now I can rob 3 to 5 times a day. The money from robbing is so much more than ferrying passengers. During times of peace, there are more merchant ships, therefore, we need to rob during times of peace. Now that there's war, there are lesser merchant ships, therefore, we're ferrying passengers. Little fox demon, you don't have the brains for business. Hu Linga was completely speechless. The speed of the ship was too fast and the ship was already giving off creaking sounds. It was getting harder for the ship to bear the wind pressure caused from flying forward. Fenyun Xiao became nervous again and fortified the ship with a few bandits by using runes transformed by vital qi to mark the hull of the ship. Qin Mu's heart was alarmed. Now he was also afraid that this ship would crumble into pieces any moment. Luckily on the way there, the ship never broke down in mid-air. On their way there, they encountered a few more battlefields, but because the speed of cloud-chasing pirate ship was too fast, before the two sides could even see what it was, the ship had already flown past, inevitably making them indescribably stunned. Fenyun Xiao was also indescribably stunned. The pill furnace created by Qin Mu was simply too strong, and according to this flying speed, the 7 to 8 days' journey to the capital city now would just take them over a day. However, even though the pill furnace Qin Mu created was good, it consumed much more spirit stones and herbs. When they reached the capital city, it was already the morning of the next day. The ship slowed down its speed and the spirit stones on the ship were more or less depleted. The ship gradually descended and landed in the vehicles and mounts market in the capital city. The official in the vehicles and mounts market went forward to check, and his expression immediately changed hugely when he saw Fenyun Xiao. He was about to call for constables to arrest him when Fenyun Xiao immediately explained, "I've turned good, turned good. This is our ship's official record." That official took a look, and it was really an official record from the imperial court. He said bewilderedly, "Crooks like you should be beheaded, how could they allow you turn good?" Fenyun Xiao laughed dryly, "This is the grace of the imperial court, I'm moved to tears of gratitude." Qin Mu disembarked the ship and was about to leave when Fenyun Xiao hurried over. Putting his arm over his shoulder, he chuckled, "Brother Qin, what future do you have in Imperial College? Why not follow me and we can do big business, no capital, huge profit?" Qin Mu shook his head, "Senior brother Fan, I in Imperial College ain't like you in Dao Sect. You are corrupted at heart, but Imperial College has a very good impression of me. I'm a good person with an extensive public reputation." Hu Linga was full of confidence. The term improper intention can never be placed together with young master. Fenyun Xiao could only drop his thoughts and grumbled, "With your talent, it's wasted for you not to be a bandit." "That's right, when I left Dao Sect, I stole the computational canon of supreme mystery, and since you're interested in algebra, I'll give it to you." Qin Mu rose up with spirit and immediately took over the computational canon of supreme mystery. "How can I take such a precious gift?" "Linga, take it quickly." Hu Linga hid the computational canon of supreme mystery in the backpack. Fenyun Xiao said, "Dao Sect doesn't prohibit disciples to learn computational canon of supreme mystery. This canon is used for opening up the disciples' wisdom, and if they could learn the computational canons well, only then can they learn 14 writings of Dao Sword. Back then I learned my computational canon not bad and learned the 5th writing of Dao Sword. Before I could start to learn the 6th writing, I was chased out to become a bandit." Qin Mu asked curiously, "Which writing is the move, a dot threading the vast movements, yin and yang come and go within 2 modes from?" "Brother Qin knows this move." Fenyun Xiao was astonished. "This is the 1st writing of Dao Sword and the most simple move among the 14 writings. Dao Sword becomes harder the further you cultivate it, but the power also grows. When one succeeds in cultivating the 14th writing of Dao Sword, he would become invincible in this world, becoming a god. However, no one in Dao Sect has ever succeeded." Qin Mu's heart jumped. The 1st writing of Dao Sword was already this powerful, so how astonishing could the power of the 14th writing be? When he fought with Daozi Ling Xian, this was the move that was used by Daozi Ling Xian. He defeated Dao Xian. However, Dao Xian also managed to calculate the location of his weakness and injured him. He couldn't help becoming curious about the 14 writings of Dao Sword. After bidding farewell to Fenyun Xiao, Qin Mu walked towards Imperial College and thought to himself, Fenyun Xiao is an interesting person. I'm just not sure when such an interesting person would be detained to the market to be beheaded. Now that Patriarch has retired, I wonder who would be the next Grand Chancellor? Could it be Chancellor Ba Shan? Chancellor Ba Shan planned to change the disadvantage of Imperial College by establishing Imperial Academicians. In Qin Mu's heart, he was the first choice to be the next Grand Chancellor. However, the other people might not be as open-minded as him. It was extremely important for them to establish Imperial Academicians. It was the crucial point if Imperial College would be able to surpass sacred grounds like Dao Sect and Great Thunderclap Monastery. Only when Chancellor Ba Shan became the Grand Chancellor could he continue to push for this reform. He came to the mountain gate of Imperial College, and just as he passed the mountain gate, he suddenly moved back and sized up the Dragon Qilin who was guarding in front of the mountain gate. That Dragon Qilin was still lying below the mountain gate and looking forward motionless. However, the chains on his neck had disappeared. Qin Mu took a few more looks and the Dragon Qilin continued to look forward without blinking at all. He looked like he was carved from stone, but veins started popping out from the neck of this Dragon Qilin. What are you looking at? The Dragon Qilin turned his head and roared at him in anger. Qin Mu asked curiously, the chain on your neck is gone, so why aren't you leaving? What are you staying here for? That Dragon Qilin replied weakly, I've nowhere to go. Every day there are people feeding me here, so why should I go? I'm pretty comfortable here. Hu Linga smiled, big fella, are eating and drinking all you seek after? The Dragon Qilin gave her a glance and felt quite a disdain. How does a fox demon know the ambition of a Qilin? You also won't understand if I told you. Hu Linga smiled to Qin Mu, young master, this Dragon Qilin has turned dumb squatting here every day. Let's not bother ourselves with him. Qin Mu was about to walk up the mountain when the Dragon Qilin drooped his head down with a dazed look. My old master has retired and escaped with an old man, abandoning me behind. I have nowhere else to go, so I could only stay here to guard the gate. I still have to be bullied by a bull every day, and now even a fox is scorning me. There's no way to live on. Qin Mu walked back 2 steps and came to the front of the Dragon Qilin and asked, Your Patriarch's mount? We're from the same sect. I'm the cult master of the sacred cult. The Dragon Qilin looked at him with vigilance and sneered, I don't know any patriarch or any cult master. I still haven't settled my scores with you for paralyzing me. Qin Mu smiled, when I've come to fight Daozi of Dao Sect, didn't you see me walking over with Patriarch? You should have known my relationship with Patriarch. There's no need for you to be wary. The Dragon Qilin snorted coldly, then you paralyzed me. Qin Mu mumbled, that's the result of your asking me to beat that bull. I even got beaten up by that bull instead. You absolutely didn't tell me that the bull was so strong. It's better to squash enmity rather than keeping it alive. The Dragon Qilin then snorted coldly again, then you took revenge by paralyzing me. Qin Mu probed, how about I get that bull over and you beat him up? The Dragon Qilin didn't trust him obviously and said, you still want to paralyze me? Qin Mu was helpless and could only go up the mountain. This Dragon Qilin was a little thick-headed and only remembered that he had paralyzed him. Suddenly, he stopped and looked back, only to see that Dragon Qilin finally leaving his spot while following behind him step for step. When he saw him stop, that Dragon Qilin also stopped. Qin Mu walked forward and that Dragon Qilin also walked forward. Qin Mu stopped in before the Jade Cliff and looked back. That Dragon Qilin also stopped with him. Qin Mu leaped up the Jade Cliff while fire clouds spawned under the Dragon Qilin's feet, carrying his large body up the cliff. Qin Mu turned back and smiled, what are you following me for? I had only paralyzed you once and took some dragon's saliva, is there a need for such a deep hatred? You paralyzed me so you have to provide my meals, the Dragon Qilin said seriously. Qin Mu was bewildered and asked, didn't you say earlier that people bring you food every day? You can just stay at the mountain gate. The dragon Qilin lowered his head. It was also Old Master bringing meals for me in the past, and after Old Master left, no one cares about me anymore. I have not eaten for over a month. The new Grand Chancellor thinks I am a rock, and the other directorates also think I am a rock. I'm also ashamed to beg for food. I can't bring myself to do it. That bull even relied on Chancellor Ba Shan as his backing to bully me, saying that I cheated his feelings. Qin Mu saw his grieving appearance, which moved his empathetic heart. All right, don't feel so wrong. You can follow me from now on and I'll take care of your meals. I have the money. What do you eat? I only drink the water of Jade Dragon Lake and eat 1 bucket of Scarlet Fire Spirit pills every day. Qin Mu clenched his fists tightly, and Hu Linga also felt her liver trembling. Jade Dragon Lake was the lake formed from the gathering of the Qi of the 9 dragons. There was a lot of water in the lake, and this dragon Qilin could drink to his heart's content, but a bucket of Scarlet Fire Spirit pills was the killer. Young master, the little money we have is only enough to feed him for half a month. Hu Linga whispered, I think it's best not to shelter him, or else that little property of ours would be emptied by him. The dragon Qilin heard it and immediately said, I can starve myself a little and eat half a bucket every day. No? Then a liter? No lesser than 1 liter. Qin Mu shook his hand and said, I'm an apothecary myself, and I can refine Scarlet Fire Spirit pills myself to save some money. You won't lose out in your meals, however, I can't raise you for free. The dragon Qilin immediately cried out, you paralyzed me. Furthermore, we are from the same sect, you're the cult master, so you have the duty to raise me. I'm the mount of your patriarch. Qin Mu's head started to ache as he said, you have to give me some of your dragon's saliva every day, or else I won't be able to raise you. Dragon's saliva? The dragon Qilin turned wary. Qin Mu explained, dragon's saliva means your saliva. The dragon Qilin had obviously thought of something wrong as he let out a sigh of relief. That's good then. That's right, you had said earlier that you could bring the bull over to let me beat him up. Qin Mu warned, don't win an inch and want a foot, otherwise, I will only give you half a bucket of Scarlet Fire Spirit pills every day. The dragon Qilin immediately shut up and followed behind him as if he was afraid to lose this meal master. Hu Linga kept looking back to size up this large creature, and this fellow was even much higher than Qin Mu when he stood up. Qin Mu just barely reached the dragon's whiskers that were drooping down his chin. Adding the long Qilin's tail of the dragon Qilin to calculation, he was probably 40 to 50 feet long. This dragon Qilin had strange decorative designs protruding out over his body which looked like natural runes, giving off an awe-inspiring presence. No wonder he can eat so much. He's much bigger than Bull too, not sure how big he will be when he reveals his true form. Hu Linga was secretly astonished. Qin Mu brought the dragon Qilin up the mountain and came to Jade Dragon Lake to let this dragon Qilin drink water first. He thought to himself, I still don't know how much a small bottle of dragon's saliva is worth, however, it's a spirit medicine for healing injuries, so it shouldn't be cheap, right? I hope it can fetch enough to cover the cost of the herbs, otherwise my whole fortune is going to be eaten up. This video will end here.